What are you getting? Like, if you're paying that kind of money, you should be given spells that they get at like Hogwarts or something.
Hello and welcome to episode 526 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. I'm Nathan Fox. With me is Ben Olson. We're the co-founders of LSATdemon.com and the LSAT Demon Daily podcast. First item on our agenda, Ben, Santa Clara made an announcement. We have a news story here from Reuters, which means you know who it is that's writing the story.
Is that Karen Sloan?
Our most cited journalist. The only person who does any journalism in this area of legal education, Karen Sloan, has written a story entitled Facing Federal Loan Caps, U.S. Law School to Give $16,000 to All New Students. And the U.S. Law School in question is Santa Clara University in Santa Clara, California, birthplace of Ben Olson.
Not quite the birthplace, but yeah, where I grew up. Yeah, I was born in Colorado.
Where you grew up, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
all right.
So yeah, home of young Ben Olson, Santa Clara. So yeah, they're calling it the Pledge Scholarship. Pledge is all in caps. I'm sure it's an overwrought acronym for something or other, right?
Yeah. Forced. Yep.
Yeah, they thought long and hard about how to. No, it needs to be, pledge. There's 6 words in the. The new Pledge Scholarship, announced by the university on Wednesday, appears to be the first public step by a U.S. law school to address the looming federal loan caps that were adopted in July as part of President Donald Trump's budget bill. What do we want to say about Santa Clara's? This is basically a press release, but
yeah,
what do we want to say about it?
So. You have what is their tuition? Their tuition or their nominal tuition is
with fees, $65,950.
Okay, so $66,000 is their nominal tuition. And what they're saying is, no matter who you are, we're going to give you a $16,000 scholarship. So I guess my question to the school is, why did you decide
$16,000, Ben? And just notice the tuition and fees are $65,950.
950.
Let's
isn't that convenient?
So if we subtract 16,000 from 65,950, we're left with 49,950.
Oh, a number that conveniently is below 50,000. Are they trying to sound?
Well, it's just like, let's make it
cheap.
Let's make it so obvious that we are trying to soak up all the allowable student loan dollars.
Yeah.
Just like blatantly. Oh, that's the most we can charge the student loan programs? Well, then that's the most we can charge. No shit, that's the most you can charge.
Yeah.
But you don't have to fictionally call it a scholarship that you're going to give to every single student. You could just lower your tuition.
Yeah, and that was my question. Why did you decide to call it a scholarship as opposed to lowering the tuition?
Because students like getting scholarships. They see it as an opportunity to lie to their applicant pool.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is a press release that Reuters decided to just go ahead and print.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could just imagine the geniuses in the Santa Clara admissions department going, ooh, I know. They're like, on the one hand, we're fucked because we can't charge $69,000 anymore to people who are stupid enough to pay it.
Yep.
And we'll get into like how many people have actually been paying it. It's a surprisingly high percentage of the class. Now, it's nothing close to 50% of the class.
Yeah.
But last year's 509 shows 38% of the students at Santa Clara paying full price. That's a lot. That's more than at most schools.
That is more than at most schools, and that is overpaying.
Oh, wildly. For a school like Santa Clara? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
The median LSAT at Santa Clara is 157.
Wow.
Like, those aren't, by and large, going to be super successful attorneys. I mean, they're just not. That's not
No,
happening.
they were sold the dream of, hey, look, you're in Silicon Valley. You can go work for Meta. You can go work for Google. And it's like, really? I wonder what their big law placement is.
Well, let's dig into it. I mean, we should get into that. There are a lot of rich people in Santa Clara,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a lot of rich families in Santa Clara, and there's a lot of kids going to Santa Clara Law School whose parents founded law firms in Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, sure, fine. Like, who cares if you got that kind of money? Children of billionaires, you obviously don't need to worry about it.
Sure.
But it is a fiction that a school with a 3.45 median GPA
Mm-hmm.
and a 157 median LSAT,
Yeah.
like, you think those people are going to go be working in the legal department for Apple? No,
No.
no. Not mostly. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
there's going to be some people at the top of the class, but those people are already getting scholarships. Because this is a school where they've got a real big difference between the haves and the have-nots. 21% of their class was there on a full tuition scholarship.
Yeah.
That's full tuition plus all the fees.
Yeah.
So they're already giving 1 out of 5 students the full on $64,950.
Yeah.
Now they're going to, for those poor 38%, and I guess it kind of shows that, like, it's probably not the kids of billionaires paying full price,
Hmm.
because they're doing this because of the student loan rules.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyhow, where were we?
Yeah, where were we? Okay, so first of all, they chose to offer a scholarship instead of just lowering the price. It's the same thing. It's the net effect is the same, but of course, like you're saying, the perception is wildly different. All those students who would have otherwise paid full price can now go home and tell their parents that they got a scholarship to one school and maybe not to another school. So it's
Well,
going to
it's
make
also,
Santa Clara look more appealing.
think about at what point in the admissions cycle they pumped out this press release. They did it at the very beginning of the cycle where they're the most desperate for applicants. They're probably looking at their early returns on their applicants, and they're like, shit, we got to do something. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
It's
last
low.
year,
Yeah, yeah.
they got almost 2,000 applications, and they admitted 1,300 of those.
Wow.
So it's like they're taking anybody. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why their numbers are so low.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, and by the way, of the 1,300 offers of admission, only 244 actually enrolled. So that's greater than 4 out of 5 people who Santa Clara admits. Again, they're admitting anybody. They're
Yep.
admitting well over 50% of their applicants. They're admitting
Mm-hmm.
two
If
thirds of
you
their
apply,
applicants.
you're probably going to be accepted.
2/3 of their applicants. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they accept 2/3 of their applicants, but then only 1 out of 5 that they admit actually goes there.
Yeah.
And so, hey, beginning of the cycle, they need applicants. Let's pump out a press release that says we're giving a $16,000 scholarship to every single student. Next year on their 509, Ben, they're not going to have that 38% of the class that didn't get a scholarship. It's going to be 100% receiving grants, which
Yeah.
it's 100% receiving grants at many schools because
Yeah.
these tuitions are just completely fake.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
it's
wonder
just
what
a,
it.
it's just a, they can't announce that they're cutting their tuition because
No,
that's not
no,
good
no.
press.
No, it also would create a problem for their other classes, right? Imagine that you're a 2L.
Yeah.
Now, wait, oh, tuition
Well,
went
they don't
down?
want to cut.
Yeah.
Those people already signed, right? So they can't
Yeah.
cut it for those people.
Yeah. Yep. Those people already got to feel like shit, though. What? This year? Everyone? Like a bunch of these people at the bottom of the class are just hating life. $32,000 what they're giving up on for the next 2 years, but even more if they had given it
The
to them
people that are
last
paying
year.
full price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. So we have some data put together here.
Okay.
Of all of the 206 ABA schools that we have data on,
Yeah.
a little over half of them have over $50,000 in total tuition and fees.
Okay.
106 of them have tuition 50,000 or higher. 90 schools have below 50,000 in listed tuition and fees.
Okay.
So I guess this limitation doesn't affect those 90 schools. They can still
Hmm.
the $50,000 a year limit doesn't hit them.
Yeah.
Um, when you start looking at the median scholarship grants, if you just look at let's look at how many schools at the median are actually charging more than $50,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's only 5 schools in the entire country where $50,000 in tuition and fees minus the 50th percentile grant amount is still over $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, tuition and fees minus the 50th percentile grant amount, still over $50,000.
Yeah.
You could have probably guessed these schools: Cornell, Harvard, Columbia, NYU, University of Chicago. Big fancy T14 schools in very
Yep.
expensive urban areas. Um, wait, what? What's this next thing then? Oh, living costs. When you
Mm.
factor in living costs, then it's 127 schools.
Hmm. The loan does cover living expenses? Like you can get a loan for more than your tuition and fees because it can go towards living? I can't remember.
I am guessing yes.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, okay. Current first year full time tuition at Santa Clara is $63,280. Aspiring attorneys at U.S. law schools borrowed an average of $146,800 in 2020. That's the latest data from Access Lex, apparently.
Hmm.
76% of law students took out loans. The current federal loan system allows students to borrow the total amount of their tuition and living expenses. The new loan cap only applies to new borrowers. Current law students are grandfathered under the existing system. Yeah. So if you're a 2L or 3L at Santa Clara, it's like,
That is so
oh,
wild.
those borrowing limits don't apply to you. So
So
we're
we're
going to
going to
keep
keep
charging
charging
you,
you.
but we're going to give a $16,000 scholarship to all new students. 16,000 a year times 3 to all new students, so that we can keep you under the borrowing cap.
I imagine because Trump came up with this idea, a lot of people are upset with it. But if I learned about this idea in a vacuum, I can't see why it's not a good move.
I tend to agree. I mean, I wish we lived in a world, Ben, where we could like agree that even people we don't like can have good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or vice versa.
apparently, or vice versa. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. People that we
Yeah.
do like can have bad ideas. 100%. Like, why don't we live in that world? Because it seems like we would make better decisions if we did.
Yeah.
But no, this I gotta say that yeah, knowing what I know, I mean, not to say that I know everything, but been working in this space for decades, and this seems like a good idea. It just seems like it's going to protect. I mean, you know, don't worry, you can still graduate with life-changing debt here.
Yeah. It's still a high cap, but it's moving in the right direction. Like the further that they squeeze it down, the lower the prices are going to have to be. And as a result, the fewer disparities you're going to see between those paying nothing and those paying everything.
Yes. And the rich are always going to get richer.
Mm-hmm.
But at least if we limit the amount of student loans these schools are able to trigger for their less advantaged students,
Mm-hmm.
this is like one example of a regressive cross subsidy from the poor to the rich via the student loan system
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't really need to happen. I mean, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
And so at least there will be some limits on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, could we go further?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
it
lot
sure
further.
seems like it. Because I
What's
mean,
what's the median tuition in Canada? Like $20,000, $25,000 or something like that? Like that
yeah,
sounds
it's
like a much more
far.
reasonable cap.
Yeah, yeah, and those are Canadian dollars too. I mean,
Mm.
so which is a weaker dollar, so it's even cheaper.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what to say. It's just it's so divorced from reality, right? Like
Yeah.
that tuition. Are you fucking kidding me? 50 how what? $65,950, Ben, is their tuition and fees at
That's just
Santa
tuition and
Clara.
fees. Yeah. What are you getting? Like if you're paying that kind of money, you should be given spells that they get at like Hogwarts or something.
Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, you should also live in luxury accommodations on campus
Yeah.
in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you're paying for mansions for the professors and administrators here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not you're paying for real estate in Atherton. You're not paying for like actual education received by you. You're going to sit in a big classroom with with 100 other people.
Yeah, if you think that's ridiculous, think about this for a second. A semester is about 4.5 months. $66,000 divided by 4.5 is just shy of $15,000 a month. So some of that would have to go
Well,
towards tuition, but if the rest went towards living expenses, you could have a wildly
yeah.
nice
Oh,
place.
it's insane. I mean, do the math for like classroom hours. It's
Yeah.
roughly one
Oh.
hour in class for every credit.
Ugh.
So 15 credits,
Yeah.
you're looking at 15 times 15 hours a week times 14 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
210 hours per semester
Yeah,
times
maybe a little
2.
bit longer. So maybe, yeah. What'd you say? 210? Maybe two.
Yeah, so let's say it's
We'll round out.
500 hours a year.
Okay. Yep.
500 hours a year means
Yep.
that so you and everyone else in the room are paying $100 over $100 an hour.
And those rooms can get
What?
pretty big.
That's what I'm saying. It got 60, 80, 100 people in your 1L
Look,
classes.
I mean, even a small class, you're paying $4,000 an hour with 30 people.
Yeah. and and the vast majority of the expenses at organizations like this goes
Yeah.
to payroll. It just goes to
Yeah.
pay the professors. So it's just the professors and the high level administrators.
Mm-hmm.
It does not translate to any sort of special services or meaning for the students.
Yeah.
You're going to graduate from Santa Clara, and the big law firms are going to look at you and go, yeah, no, I don't think so. And not,
Yeah.
maybe the top 10% of the class, but everybody else, no way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should report here Santa Clara's big law placement percentage.
Yeah. Let's look it
What's
up.
the easiest way to look that up? I'll let you do it.
Okay. I'm gonna just Google search Santa Clara law. school. It's telling me that. And then I'm going to do employment statistics. And the second option is
Okay.
ABA employment summary for 2024 graduates.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to pull that up.
We're
And
going
I
to
can
see how many
see.
people go into big law and federal clerkships. I'll start the bidding on federal clerkships at 0.
Okay. You're close. It's 1. There are two.
Out of
There
how
are
many people?
202 people graduated in 2024 from Santa Clara. 23, so 12% are seeking employment. One person is not seeking employment. 4 people, they don't know what's going on with them. Now, when you come down
Gonna go
to,
ahead and say unemployed for them. Yep. All
yeah,
right.
yep, they're unemployed. They wouldn't report it. Clerkships, federal clerkships is 1. Um, that's it. And then 1 state clerkship. Okay. So then when it comes to, there are 49 people going into big law, or I think it's still big law, 251 attorneys or more. So 49 people.
Out of 200 what?
202. So it's about
Yeah.
25%. Yeah.
Right. And it mirrors, shockingly, it mirrors. We could have predicted this, you know.
The
What's
percentage
their
of people
what's
getting
their
a full
full
tuition.
ride what's their
Yeah.
full ride tuition amount? What's their full ride tuition percentage? Oh, 21% getting full
Mm-hmm.
ride or full ride plus.
Yep.
How many people going into big law?
25. Yeah.
20 something percent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget that there's all those people who are in the half to full tuition bucket who
Sure.
could be getting full tuition scholarships, just not
Yeah.
maybe
The
all the
fees.
fees.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have here their 75th percentile grant amount. Oh yeah, Santa Clara 75th percentile grant amount is 59,254.
Mm-hmm.
So 25% of the class is getting already damn near full tuition.
Yep.
And they're going to be wildly overrepresented in the group of people who are also going into big law.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who pay the least are going to get the best outcomes. The people who pay the most are not getting those big law outcomes.
Yeah.
And the people who pay less tend to have high undergrad grades, high LSAT scores. Those are characteristics that are highly correlated with being richer and whiter. Meanwhile, the people who have lower grades, lower LSAT scores, poorer, less white, those are the people not getting the scholarships, not getting the big jobs.
Yeah.
I know we never stop complaining about this, but it just seems immoral.
Yeah. It's not working.
I mean, it's working for some people.
Yeah,
right?
it's working really good for some people. And this is where the cap needs to come down even further. I don't even know, what was the cap before? Was it 66,000?
What do you mean, borrowing cap?
Yeah, there must have been
I don't think
some
there was a
cap.
cap. No, unlimited. I think that's how
Really?
we got into the situation that we're in.
Unlimited?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. I hope
Yeah.
that's not true, but maybe that is true.
I think it's true. I could be wrong, but I think that we had no limit on the amount people could borrow
Okay.
because justice and access to justice, and it's important. It's fair. It's only fair that everyone be able to completely cripple their financial future to borrow money to pay for professors' mansions in Atherton. That's only fair, Ben.
Okay.
Tips from a departing demon.
Yeah.
This is from Abigail in LA. Abigail improved from a 159 to a 176 in 6 months of studying. And here's her advice.
Take breaks. Sometimes you're fucking up on all your problems because you're tired or you're dehydrated or your brain is just slow that day. You don't need to train for this thing 400 hours a day. One problem is more than nothing.
I liked that one when I saw that one come through. You got to listen when people make a 17-point improvement up to a 176.
Yeah.
These people know what they're talking about. And when they give tips that are, like, hey, maybe chip away at it.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I was able to do in 6 months.
Yeah.
And those are very gratifying emails to receive. I get a lot of those emails. I also get a lot of emails from people who are like, "Hey, I'm taking the test again in November, and I really I'm really not performing very well, but I need to improve by 17 points between now and November. What do I
Hmm.
do?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, what you want to do is you want to take breaks and you want to do a little bit every day, and that's not compatible with I have to make some certain amount of improvement on some fixed timeline.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's on the Mount Rushmore of LSAT tips that we can give you. Don't sign up for an official test until you're happy with your practice test scores. How long is it going to take for you to get happy with your practice test scores? I don't really know,
Yeah.
but chip away at it and you'll know when you're ready. You're not ready right now. I mean, it's just you guys know you're not ready. You look at your practice test scores, you know you're not ready.
Yeah.
So get ready, then sign up.
You have to let go. You have to let go
Yeah.
of that. I don't know what it is, right?
Well, I mean, but for one thing, people get terrible advice. You know, there's pre-law advisors out there, your parents, your friends and family. Your football coach is like, nah, just sign up. That way you'll get motivated to work hard for game day. And it's like, okay, yeah, but that's not the advice that a LSAT professional would give.
Or at least some.
Um, well, yeah, because there's also big legacy prep companies with like LSAT classes on fixed schedules that are designed to end right before an official test.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, come take our class for the November LSAT. 6 weeks, waste $2,000 and then go take a test that you're clearly not going to be prepared for. That's just not the way to do it.
Nope.
We have a great track record of helping people get life-changing improvement on the LSAT, but you do need to slow down and just do one problem at a time.
Yep. Cool.
We got some announcements here. Thanks to everybody who came and saw Abigail and Billy and our amazing team in Atlanta at
Yeah.
the Law School Admission Council Law School Forum. Next one coming up is Chicago, Friday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott downtown. Magnificent Mile.
Okay.
First 100 people are going to get a free copy of our book, The LSAT is Easy. And you can spin the wheel for additional, shirts and hats and water bottles and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you can register for that at lsac.org/law school forums.
We got a free class coming up, Marathon Mindset. I think Kaylee is teaching that. That's Thursday, October 16th, 5:30 Eastern. Register for that, lsatdemon.com/free. If you just register for a free LSAT Demon account, you're going to get emails about all of our free events, along with helpful study advice. So, go get yourself an LSAT Demon free account. Demon teacher Beatriz shared with us something. I thought this was interesting. I don't know if you saw it already on Slack, but the University of Miami has an essay prompt about AI.
Okay. I can read it.
Yeah.
In today's legal landscape, practitioners increasingly collaborate with AI tools to enhance research, analysis, and decision making. The ability to design effective AI interactions, asking the right questions in the right way, has become an essential skill for modern lawyers. This prompt assesses your ability to leverage generative AI tools strategically and thoughtfully.
I might have put this essay prompt through a generative AI tool, namely Concise Editor.
Sure.
To get it to just stop. Notice how many lists and ands they have here. Research, analysis, and decision making.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Could
They
have
use
said
it
analysis.
to do their job.
Yeah. Strategically and thoughtfully.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick one of those. That doesn't need to be both. Anyway, go ahead.
It's classic AI speak, right?
It does look like it was written by AI. Absolutely. Yeah.
You should use large language models to test and refine your prompts during this exercise. You will be evaluated on the quality of your prompt design inputs. Okay, oddly, parentheses inputs, not the AI's response, parentheses outputs. Okay. Um, So you must include your prompts, and then they're going to look at the output. Limit your response to 2,500 characters. Okay. Draft a detailed prompt for a large language. Whoa, this is weird. Is this a different school, or is this still the
No, this is the
Miami's?
same prompt. They're going on and on.
Wow. And the weird thing is they went from large language models to large language model capitalized. Okay. Draft a detailed prompt for a large language model to generate a comprehensive analysis that will help you make an informed decision about which law school to attend. Your prompt should be specific enough to provide actionable insights while thoughtfully considering the most important factors in this decision. Additionally, third paragraph, provide 3 to 5 follow-up prompts that anticipate the AI responses and allow you to explore your options on a deeper level. These follow-up prompts should provide you with more detailed and specific information about each of your choices. Consider the order of the prompts as you feed them into generative AI. Okay, so people, if they're savvy enough, they're actually going to use generative AI to come up with the prompts.
Well, wouldn't you just first thing just basically copy paste all this into
100%.
ChatGPT? I would say like,
okay, now help me out. What are we going to do here? Now, don't just blindly take whatever it foolishly gives you, but get some ideas.
Well, exactly, because the first thing is don't waste time. The first thing is just like, let's leverage these tools by leveraging these tools. So instead of over engineering it, copy, paste, boom, see what it spits out.
Yep.
And then you can refine from there. I don't know. I kind of want to dunk on it, but I also kind of want to give them a little bit of like, hey, at least they're trying.
They're trying.
Yeah, I mean, like this is better than just having a blanket ban on AI.
Well, I just realized, you know what they need to do? Right now, they have this very formal, old school based system in which, remember a long time ago, you would literally submit a letter, right? You'd apply and all your materials would be like would be printed out. Okay, so then they shifted to an online system because that was dumb once you could do things online. But we're still in that mindset, right? Like you give them a PDF, that's just a digital version of the paper that you would have given them before. They need like an interactive tool.
Yeah.
And you interact with okay, go ahead and use AI here. And they like screen record it and they're like, yeah, interesting. And then again, you're just going to hire people and
the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to stay poor. And
but you know, these interviews that they do now too, you can like interview and they record you and then and then the video gets sent. Like
totally.
Schools should be exploring all sorts of things. Yeah. So congrats to them for trying. Yeah.
I do think congrats to them for trying here because, you know, I think it was about a year ago now that we went through all of like a whole bunch of different schools. We did some reporting on, hey, here's what all the different schools are saying about AI in their applications.
Yep.
And like 3/4 of them were basically saying, don't use AI at all.
Yeah. We're afraid. Stop.
And some of them, we thought the smartest ones were saying something along the lines of use it however you want, but tell us how you used it.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like the savvy thing to do because then you are going to have some people who are going to say, I don't use it at all. I didn't use it at all. Fine. You can see what they're able to produce.
Yeah.
Other people, they're going to see what they were able to produce and they're going to tell you they used AI and they're going to tell you exactly how they used AI. And you could learn how people are using AI because it's such a rapidly evolving area. That seems to be what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Like I would imagine that you could see who has some savvy and some people are going to just not know what to say to this question at all.
Totally.
Like it's too meta. It's too like, what?
Yeah.
You want me to describe my own thought process on how I would prompt a machine? What? You know, people are going to just completely crash and burn on this.
Yeah. Well, and it's accepting the fact. if you embrace the fact that people are going to use AI, then that opens the window into what they're doing. If you pretend like they can't use it, you know that a bunch of your applicants are still going to use it and try to hide that fact, maybe successfully, but you're going to be living in a little bit of a fiction. And the bigger issue here is that when people graduate from law school and they go to work, you're not going to be competitive if you're not using these tools.
Yeah, I agree that that is true. Are they perfect? No. Can they wildly hallucinate and make shit up? Yes. Do they do actual fucking magic sometimes though? Yeah. If you know what you're doing, you can get amazing. Yeah, it's just, it's like, okay, do you like using Google? Yeah, okay. Google was
Can you
kind of
imagine not using that?
right. Can you imagine not using Google? That's how not using these tools are now.
Yeah.
It's just like, whoa, you're crippling yourself if you don't sometimes use it.
Hmm.
Um, okay, well, there you go. University of Miami.
Okay. This next item is scheduling woes strike again.
We've got this is a report from Redditor who said, I just tried to sign up for an October LSAT time slot and every single time and date is full. What do I do? I already paid for the test. How does LSAC allow so many people to go sign up for the test without having time slots for them? It was only 2 days after time slot registration had opened. Long story short, they're going to open up new slots. That's never not been the case. So just, I guess, calm down. Apparently Reddit was going crazy over this. Reddit goes crazy over everything. But I think people just need to take a breath and wait for more slots to open up. Now, is it going to be a slot you want? No, but they don't care. They have a monopoly, so they give you this big wide window.
Yeah.
And then, they're just going to they're going to provide you a slot at some point during that big wide, 3-day window.
Yeah.
And they're going to feel as if they have delivered on their promise. It's like the cable guy.
It gives you.
Well, we're going to be there sometime
window.
tomorrow. It's going to be sometime between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. tomorrow.
Like, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Let us know if you have a different experience. Just hit us up on our website, thinkinglsat.com. Let us know if you're having problems registering for the October test. But I have a pretty strong suspicion that they're going to just open up more slots. By the way, people are making these complaints like 2 weeks before the actual dates. So there's plenty of time for LSAC to sort this out.
Mm.
You just have to be willing to block off that entire 3-day window on your calendar when you sign up for the test.
Yeah.
We have two. We have 2 letter of recommendation questions. First one's from Morgan. Why don't you read that?
Dear LSAT Demon Team, most of the schools I plan to apply to require 2 academic letters of recommendation, which I have already put in place. However, Duke requires a professional letter as well. I'm between 2 of my prior bosses. One knows me very well and I feel confident would speak very highly of me because we had a very close relationship. However, their title is not as impressive and the organization was small, potentially unknown.
That's not the point.
Nope. The point is, do they know you and will they say good things about you even if you don't have a very close relationship? That's not critical. They just need to know your work product.
Well, they need to have supervised you, right? I mean, they need to be your boss. Mm-hmm. But the boss who knows you and is going to speak very highly of you, I would much rather have that than have somebody with a big title who doesn't know me or doesn't like me.
Yep. Oh, 100%. Okay, Morgan continues. My other option is to ask for a letter from my current boss who has a very impressive title at a very well-known institution. However, due to the amount of people working under them and the short amount of time I've been at the job, I fear they won't know me quite as well. Should I make a desperate attempt to get on the latter's radar, or is the first option a better choice? First option.
100%. Got to go with the former there, not the latter. I can only imagine what would happen if you started acting super thirsty to get on this other person's radar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, look at me, right? Oh yeah, I was on that team too. Yeah, I did great work there on that project. That's not gonna fly. You've already got somebody. It's fine. People need to understand that these are necessary conditions, not sufficient conditions, right?
Yeah,
These are
yeah.
just hoops that they want you to jump through,
Yep.
and you've already got a slam dunk, easy to jump through the hoop with this boss who knows you. Um, do you think, Ben, that this is required for all applicants? Because does that mean that Duke is just not taking K through JDs?
That's interesting. I mean, the email says Duke requires a professional letter as well. Even if it is nominally required, I wouldn't be surprised if you could just write them and say, "Hey, I'm
Yeah,
graduating. I don't
it
have a professional letter."
it might also only be required of people who have been in the workforce for a while. It might
Hmm.
it might be like if you
Have a
graduated
job. Yeah.
more than 2 years ago, we need a professional letter.
Yep.
Okay, I'll read this next one from Abo, who says, "Hello, LSAT demons. I've been through an admission cycle before. Back in 2014, when I applied as a senior in college with a 3.59 UGPA and a 159 LSAT, with the idea of going into law school directly from undergrad."
Okay.
Those are like those are not great numbers, right?
No.
But those numbers would actually kick ass at Santa Clara that we talked about at the top of the show.
Yep.
Like those are scholarship numbers. Those are like full ride scholarship numbers at Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Those are going to be above their 75th percentile LSAT for sure,
Hmm.
and probably pretty close. I mean, probably over their median GPA. Yeah, definitely above their median GPA. I thought we said 3.45.
Yeah. 3.45 or 3.54. Either way, you're above that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, my question, says Abo, is about letters of recommendation. When I reactivated my LSAC account, which felt like opening a time capsule, I discovered that my LORs from the 2014 cycle were still in my application portal. Given that I can't see what these letters say, should I even consider using any of them for a future application? Do y'all have a general recommendation for people like myself who have been out of undergrad for 10 or more years for the sources of LORs? Academic referrals versus professional referrals? I'm sure the default answer is whoever will speak glowingly about you, but all else held equal, does the source of these letters really matter? I understand my admission and grant offers hinges on my LSAT score, but I'd like to have as polished of an application as possible, as I'm sure all Demon students do. Thanks, Abo. What do you want to say to Abo?
Yeah, so a couple things. One, definitely do not use professional letters from 2014. It's going to make it look like you haven't done anything since then, or you can't get a recommendation for anything you've done since then. So that's a no. I hesitate a little bit on the academic ones because your academic letters, you haven't done anything academically since then. So it's not surprising that they're old, but it seems a little weird to have such an old date. It's almost like you just want to contact the person again and say, "Hey, can you just take this letter and resubmit it?" Possibly.
Yeah, or just go with professional letters of recommendation. I mean, you've been in the
Hmm.
workforce for 10 or
Well,
more years. It doesn't seem like it's that hard.
no, I agree with that, but some schools require.
Yeah, but I think they might require like with an asterisk. I just don't it just doesn't make any sense. Like why would that doesn't it just doesn't stand to any kind of reason. Wait,
Yeah, how
you
did they
really
do in
so you're going to
school?
let me apply to your school, but I'm 35 now. You want me to go back and get letters from people who knew me when I was
10 years ago? Yeah,
20? Like
yeah.
why? What
What
do we
value is
possibly
that?
learn from that? You have my
Hmm.
transcripts. So
Yeah.
what do we learn from that? I don't see any value there. So I mean, and I've never heard of a school that was like locked into no, you have to have academic letters of recommendation. I've never heard that.
Yeah. Well, it reveals how unimportant they are.
Right. Letters of recommendation are what, the sixth most important thing on your application?
I even hate to say most important. It's a necessary step, like you said
Yeah.
earlier.
It's a
But
hoop
is it
you
an
have to
important
jump
step?
through. Right.
Yeah.
It's like paying the application fee. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a thing that you have to do, except for, they do waive that a lot. That's because they
And
don't
don't get
care.
people who write shit about you. Obviously, that's a fail. The requirement is
Oh,
to get a nice letter, and that's it.
right. It's a check to make sure you're not a psychopath,
Yeah.
sociopath,
Yeah.
like, because they're out there. Like, crazy people are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes crazy people have decent GPA, decent LSAT,
They
and
can't get a letter.
but they can't get a letter that doesn't raise red flags.
Yeah.
And that's how I think these schools sensibly would be using letters of recommendation. It's just like, okay. And honestly, same with personal statement,
Mm-hmm.
because the same sociopaths that can't write a personal statement that doesn't tell on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You read it and you can just feel it coming off the page. It's just this crazy, just jumping
Yeah.
off the page.
Like
And
weird.
so
Yeah.
LSAT and GPA is what's really going to open the doors, right? LSAT and GPA, they're going to put you in a pile that's like presumptively admit this person.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Santa Clara Law. They're admitting 2 out of 3 applicants, right? 2 out of 3 just at random. Two
Mm-hmm.
out of three are getting admitted.
Yep.
So the average quality of those essays and letters of recommendation and everything else can't be that good. We already know that the LSAT and GPA is not that good at a school like that. None of the rest of it's going to be good either.
Mm-hmm.
They're reading it to make sure you're not crazy or making major errors in judgment, like having your brother write you a letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
Um, or it literally says in the letter, I can't believe this person is asking me for a letter of recommendation. They
They
fucked
get
me
those.
over at
Yeah.
every opportunity. Do not admit this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
People do that. They think that I don't know. I don't know what they think, but they request favors from the absolute wrong people.
Yeah. And so then that's just a terrible error of judgment. And the school looks at you and goes, yeah, okay, no, we're going to dodge a bullet there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God we have these letters of recommendation. But it's not like they're going to read it and go, oh, wow, look at the fancy title. This is a very impressive title at a very well known institution.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then that means we have to admit this person. That's not
Yeah.
how they're not doing that at all. It's just make sure that it's someone who was your boss or your professor or your graduate TA who graded your work. And they're going to say nice things about you. And that's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, should I stay or should I go?
This might be on purpose. Should I stay or school I go? Like it's like poetic or something?
Oh, we're trying. That was,
Like
yeah, don't
maybe
do
like
that.
Dr. Seuss?
Don't, don't, don't do that.
Aaron writes,
It,
I'm an
it
yeah.
looks like a typo. Don't do
Yeah.
things that could be perceived as a typo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron writes, I'm an engineer working in research and design. Engineering is awesome.
Yep.
Don't come over here.
Nope.
My current job introduced me to patent law. I've entertained the idea of just taking the patent bar and becoming a patent agent. I'm a 170 3.3 applicant. Tell me why I shouldn't go to law school?
Because you've got better things to do.
Yeah.
You've got skills. We were talking about this, I think, on the very last episode. You've got skills that many people in the legal world don't have. I mean,
Yep.
people it's kind of embarrassing actually how bad lawyers are at math.
Yeah.
They think it's cute, that like, oh, I was told there would be no math, that kind of thing.
Mm.
For me, it's fucking embarrassing to look around and it's like, really? You can't, like, you don't know the difference between an absolute change and a percentage change? Like, you can't, I don't know. It's sad and it's shocking, but they do have real strong verbal skills. And you're going to be fighting with them in a world where only the verbal skills matter.
Yeah.
So it's like you're fighting your
Even
life
if they're
with one.
wrong about the math.
Right. Oh no, they're gonna think it's cute. They're gonna just, oh no, yeah, that's not my department.
Yeah.
That's not my department. My department
Yeah.
is making these arguments
Yeah.
and, legal winning on legal documents that don't have
Hmm.
math. And the LSAT doesn't have math. So, like these people are outscoring you on the LSAT,
Hmm.
but you would crush them. Like they literally can't do junior high pre-algebra,
Yeah.
and there are important problems in the world that require knowledge of math and
Hmm.
science. And you can go work on those problems. Otherwise, you're just ignoring this skill that you have. You're tying one hand behind your back so you can go fight with these other people on their turf. If you are going to go, Aaron, I would encourage you to do the patent bar and become a patent agent. And you definitely could like go work in IP.
Yeah.
It's funny because you'll have a lot of these same people, the ones that I'm complaining about, who think that they're going to go work in intellectual property,
Hmm.
but they don't have the technical chops. Like they're afraid of the science passages on reading comp,
Yeah.
but they think they're going to go work in, like intellectual property law because that sounds fancy to them. Meanwhile, Aaron, you could actually be a practicing patent agent during law school. So you could be getting paid while you're going to law school, pursuing intellectual property law for real, and then also ticking off the boxes and getting your JD. But you're working in research and design right now. That sounds so like you're creating things instead of tearing things down. You're inventing new shit instead of fighting over who owns shit.
Yeah. And if you think patent law is there to protect the invention of new shit, it is to some degree, but it's also a big industry of just patent war
Yeah,
and silliness.
it's horrifying. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's just like, no, because we know that you're going to sue us for patent infringement
We're going to go get a
on some
different
bogus
patent.
claims. We're going
Yeah.
to go get a whole bunch. You've got 1,000 patents and we've got 1,000 patents. And that means that there's unlimited, it's like all the ICBMs pointed
Yeah.
at each other, right?
Yeah.
Mutually
Yeah.
assured destruction.
Yeah. Mm.
It's just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you could blow us up if you want,
But
but
we'll
we'll
come
blow
after
you up
you.
too.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, that's so wildly unsatisfying to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got this idea stuck in my head of I would far rather go make a dollar than fight over nickels.
Mm.
And I just think that lawyers live in the world of fighting over nickels.
Yeah.
I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, but that's a hell of a lot of what lawyers do is just like fight over shares of a fixed pie. And the pie
Hmm.
just gets smaller and smaller because the lawyers are eating the pie. But that's not what I mean. You're an engineer. You can go build stuff and solve problems and make things better. I'll let you have the last word for Aaron. I know you feel the same way I do.
No, I feel similar. I mean, ironically, the legal profession does need people who have Aaron's skill set. But just because the profession needs you
Well, who gives
doesn't
a
mean
fuck about the
that,
profession, right?
yeah, doesn't
I
mean
mean,
that you will enjoy it. You have to. This is why it's a good idea, like you said, Nate, to take the patent bar, become a patent agent, and start to get into this kind of work, and then be like, oh, yeah, this is great, or whoa, I'm getting closer to it, and things are getting worse, not better.
no, and I have a strong suspicion that that's what's going to happen. I mean, the
Yeah.
closer you get to it, the more it's going to just you set your teeth on edge. You're going to just
Mm.
feel like, oh my god, really? That's what you guys are going to do?
Yeah.
Like
This is a
that's how
dumb
this
idea.
life
Why is it
is?
being patented? Yeah. Why do I have to review it?
We're just going to threaten discovery on the other side so that we can figure out how to find some settlement because nobody wants to get deposed. Nobody wants to have to turn over all their documents. We're just going to have these unending wars of threatening litigation on each other instead of like building things.
Yeah.
Um, I have no doubt, like that if I was a law school, I would be falling all over myself to try to admit Aaron.
Hmm.
Full ride, best scholarship we got. You know, like I don't even care that 3.3 is below our median. I don't care. 170 is above our median. You know, Santa Clara is dying for Aaron to go there.
Yeah. Yep.
And Aaron would be, you know, ironically, she's the one who could get value out of a law school located in Silicon Valley,
Yep.
a very middling law school, but located in an area where things like patent agents and the patent bar and engineers who are also lawyers, that matters a lot
Yeah.
to the people who have the chops to do it. Aaron has the chops to do it. So, you know, sky's the limit for what kinds of jobs Aaron might be able to get. But sky's already the limit for what kinds of jobs Aaron might be able to get because we have a horrifying shortage of engineers.
Yeah.
Especially after, you know, the recent news with the $100,000 fee that's now going to get tacked onto the H-1Bs.
Holy shit.
Oh man,
Want
I
to come to
saw
this country and help us build something cool? Yeah, well, it's going to cost you.
well, also the way they announced it and everything. I was at Nikki Black's house
Yeah.
this last Friday,
Hmm.
and you know, we're like doing our dorky board game shit with me and her husband and Nikki, and she's just like shell shocked
Yeah.
that this announcement had come in on Friday. Like, oh, there's gonna be $100,000 fee, and she's the immigration attorney for these engineers that you're reading about, who are like about to board a flight to Dubai,
Hmm.
but now they're frantically getting off the plane at the last minute because they're worried that if they fly to Dubai, then they might not be able to come back into the country without paying $100,000 fee because they're on an H-1B.
Oh my gosh.
Because the executive order didn't specify that it doesn't apply to people who are already on an H-1B.
Oh, wow.
And so she's like, it's absolute fucking chaos out there.
You mean people have reservations about $100,000 fee,
yeah,
but not
that
law
might,
school?
yeah, good point. Well, you can't borrow the $100,000.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Aaron. Do anything
Yeah.
else.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
What's the deal with Detroit Mercy?
I have no idea. But apparently somebody wanted to know what the deal is with Detroit Mercy Law.
Okay.
And so we have some research here about Detroit Mercy Law. It's a private Roman Catholic law school. It's been ABA accredited since 1933. It has received ABA approval in spring of this year to begin the first fully online JD program in Michigan.
Okay.
The first entering class in the program will be in fall of 2026. Why does it matter where it is?
I don't know. That's
Is
what
that what
I
you're
mean. It's
laughing
fully,
about?
yeah, because it's fully online. Like you're the fact that you're in Michigan, like what? It's not going to
Wait, so it's
affect.
not in Michigan. It's on the internet.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
fully
not the first
online
on
means.
the internet. So that's the problem. They had to say in Michigan
We're
to
the first fully online the first online. Yeah, it's right on their website. It's got a kind of a hilarious screenshot here. The first and only online JD program in Michigan. But you don't have to be in Michigan to do it. And you also could do other fully online programs because who cares where it is? Okay, anyway.
Okay.
All classes in this program will take place online. There's going to be both asynchronous and synchronous courses. There's no requirement to come in person to Detroit Mercy Law at any point during the program. That's what fully online means.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
is it worth a damn?
Wait, this is kind of a big deal, though, in the sense that if a school can get approved for a fully online program.
Yep.
See, I thought all the online programs we've been talking about were hampered by the fact that they required students to come in person because of ABA requirements.
I think that this is changing rapidly. I was just
That's
hearing
surprising
over the weekend,
for ABA. Yeah.
someone has a perception that Southwestern Law School in Los Angeles has potentially a fully online program in the works. That's rumor. I have no idea whether that's true or not. I thought that Arizona or
Had
Arizona
fully
State.
online, so not
Hmm.
hybrid. So, because if this happens, right, then here's the path. The path is that dozens, scores, maybe all schools will eventually be fully online. And then that will make competition radically more intense. I don't know how else to say it because you're not restricted by your locale. So then it's going to consolidate the market to three big online players, and the rest will be small niche offerings.
As it should. There's no reason to have
To reinvent
100.
the wheel every
Right.
in
Well,
every jurisdiction.
everybody's using the Chemerinsky book anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Is
so
that the
if you're
con law
all,
book? I feel like I
I
remember that
don't even
name.
know. I
Yeah.
pulled a name out of my ass, but everybody's using that same book.
Yeah.
Well, then why do we have to have 200 different professors teaching the exact same style of class
Well,
out
and
of
you
the
know there's
exact
going to be
same book?
there's going to be a bell curve distribution too. Some of those professors are going to be amazing at teaching that content. Some are going to be absolutely abysmal, and then you're going to have a bunch in the middle. But it's those ones who are at the very, very top who should come
One would
out,
think. Yeah, the
yeah,
ones who
and be the
actually want to
one,
teach.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
The,
teach that topic, and they're just like killing it. And now, okay, everyone can pick through the top 3 or 4 of those professors.
right. And yeah, I mean, it's just like everybody's going to get a Harvard or Yale caliber class.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, what happens is you just pay Harvard and Yale prices at schools like Santa Clara. And what's the point? Why not just put it all online? Yeah, no, this is very good news for students.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be very bad news for certain law schools,
Yep.
like especially ones that have gigantic fixed capital obligations
Mm,
in major urban areas.
yeah.
You know, and especially when they are sluggish, they're going to be very slow
Adopt
to
this.
adopt this. Like they're not going to be the ones that are going to be successful, and they're just going to go out of business basically.
Yep.
I mean, but first they're going to lobby
Mm,
the ABA
to add requirements to these
to
online
add
programs.
in person to add, right. They've got to make sure that, right, they're going to make sure that there's plenty of regulation to make it expensive for these schools to do business this way.
Yeah.
Uh anyway, so to figure out what the deal is with any law school, the first step, you got to look at the American Bar Association 509 report. These reports are far from perfect, but they do provide some consumer protection information if you know how to read them. I would always look first at LSAT and GPA. We're looking at a median 154 and 3.55 for the full-time program.
Okay.
It's 151 and 3.61 for the part-time program, although they have a very small part-time program right now, only 12 students there.
Mm.
Next thing I would look at is price. And that's where it's actually hard to figure out the price. Some schools report by semester, some schools report by year, some schools report by credit. Look at this table, Ben. It's like, what?
Let me go down there. What? Oh, other per
What does
credit.
that even mean? I
Yeah.
mean, so I guess that it's around $30,000 a year.
Okay.
I think is what this school costs. Next thing I would
I
look
mean, they
at.
have per credit numbers.
They do.
Yeah. But that doesn't add up to 30,000.
Um,
It's like 45, right?
I guess that
Maybe.
would be 45,000. Yeah, but then they have that per annual 27,254. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
American Bar Association needs to take a look at Detroit Mercy Law School 509 report because I don't think consumers can figure out how much this school costs. And that's before you even get into like calculating the scholarships, right? Because even those numbers are fake. 56% of the class gets some sort of discount.
Yep.
So then you have to try to read the tea leaves and figure out what those discounts actually amount to. 5% of the students are getting full tuition or more. Another 23% of the students are getting something more than 50% off. Add that up, you get 28% of the class getting more than a 50% discount. Everybody else is getting some sort of a discount or no discount at all. This isn't a school that does like crazy discounting, not compared to their competitors, at least. What else do you want to know about Detroit Mercy?
8 graduates went into Big Law. That's 4%
Okay.
of their class. 6% are unemployed. Not shocking.
0 federal clerkships. Yeah, it's, it's just, it's whatever. It's like there are many law schools to choose from. Some might say too many law schools to choose from. This is a school that accepts almost half of their applicants. And then 60% of the people that they admit turn around and tell them no. So they're just struggling every year to get people in the seats. And now they are, thankfully innovating here. They're like, shit, we got to do something different. And they're creating an online program.
You can get a Canadian American dual JD.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because, there's Windsor, Canada, and there's actually a law school in Windsor, Canada. It's south. It's basically due south of Detroit, Michigan. So this is an area where there's tons of people crossing the border in both directions every single day.
Yeah.
So it would make a lot of sense. There's going to be a lot of people practicing American and Canadian law
issues that arise between. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with all these tariffs.
Yeah.
Or how do we deal with these people who have a Nexus card, who drive across the border every single day, live in one area, work in the other. They live in one country, work in the other country. And there's people who do that in both directions every single day. So yeah, I can see why there would be some need for some cross-border lawyering there.
Yeah.
They've been doing that apparently since 1983. Wow. I've heard nothing good about Windsor, Canada, by the way. You know how people talk shit about Detroit?
Yeah.
I actually quite like Detroit. In the time I've spent in Detroit, I thought it was not that bad. But people do shit on Detroit all the time, and people shit on Windsor, Canada, in a much the same way.
Fair
enough. Whoa. Apparently, if you do the dual degree program, you pay tuition to both Detroit Mercy and Windsor.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Do you pay less, presumably? You got to pay less.
Graduation requires 105 credit hours. That's more than, like, normally you would need 90 credits, right? 30 per year, 15 per semester, times 6, 90 credits. But if you're going to do the dual JD, you have to do 105 credit hours. So that's 60 credits from Detroit Mercy. That's 2 full years worth of school. And then 45 credits from Windsor, which is 3 semesters, right? Year and a half of Windsor. Oh, and it looks like you pay a bit of a discounted tuition because you're only paying 28,000 instead of 48,000 at Detroit Mercy, and you're paying 12,000 instead of 27,000 at Windsor, but you're doing more credits. It probably adds up basically the same. Huh.
Really? Because that's weird. Because right now the math is you're saving 20 and you're spending 12 extra. So it's a net gain of 8,000.
But you're also going longer, more credits.
Yeah. They said you only have to make up the required courses during the first year summer. But yeah, you must take more credits during the year. But then what does that tuition number mean? That's per
Who knows?
semester.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is some shit that no one's interested in unless you live in one of these areas. So yeah,
Whatever.
we can probably move on. Um, there are some clinics for first year students. As part of our commitment to providing service learning experiences for students from day one, we offer mini clinics for first year students. Mini clinics help our students develop legal, leadership, and community service skills. In mini clinics, first year students are trained and supervised by attorneys in the legal community and help clients with a variety of matters. Do you want to read what some of these clinics are?
Crime Stoppers Clinic, Driver's License Restoration Clinic, Expungement Clinic, Greening of Detroit Clinic, Pope Francis Center Legal Clinic, Unemployment Clinic, and Wayne County Tax Foreclosure Hearing. No clinic in that title.
I mean, it's the type of shit that they do at every law school, right? I remember as a 1L at Hastings, they would have like citizenship, like you just basically volunteer and help people fill out basic paperwork. I'm sure that's what this is, right? Driver's license restoration.
Yeah.
You're going to go help somebody who got their driver's license taken away. You're going to help them file whatever the necessary paperwork is, jump through some hoops. I'm sure these things are good. Yeah, I don't know. That's the deal with Detroit Mercy. I suppose we could talk about the rankings in Michigan, right? There's a wide range of law schools available in Michigan. Looks like there's 5 law schools in Michigan.
Okay.
There's one school that is going to credibly send people into 6-figure salary jobs. That's University of Michigan Law School. Yep. It's a top 14 school. It's always been a top 14 school.
Wait, you said 5 schools in Michigan?
Well, that's what we have here. Maybe the search, maybe the screenshot that we have here is bad.
No, you're right.
Oh, it is 5?
Yeah. I was searching for MI, which is giving me more than just Michigan.
Oh, yeah. No, we've got Michigan. We've got Wayne State. There's a big gap there between number 8th ranked Michigan all the way down to number 71st ranked Wayne State. And then 115 Michigan State, 134 Detroit Mercy, and 180 Cooley. I mean, those are basically all the same, right? Like those are all regional law schools, which if you have some regional aspirations, I'm sure that they're totally fine if you don't pay too much money to go there. Like if you're going to go to those schools, you want to get their scholarships. Good luck. I hope that they are successful with their fully online JD program. I mean, boy, you want to talk about something that can actually provide access to legal education. It's not unlimited student loans. It's let people, like mothers of children, let them do law school while they're also taking care of their toddler.
Oh, 100%. The key to access is dropping the regulations that prop up
here on this. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, right.
Further, more. I mean, there's all sorts of restrictions that are coming along with this. Even though they're fully online, I'm sure it's, but we have a full-time faculty in a location and all these different things. That's the only reason this is possible.
And they should instead just drop all of the restrictions and allow random startups to do it, right? Like we should be allowed to start our law school.
Exactly.
And probably the American Bar Association, like even though could you imagine if we decided we wanted to start a law school, we would instantly have access to wildly better talent than a school like Detroit Mercy. We have our LSAT students that we could recruit from. And if we were like, oh no, we're going to charge you like $10,000 a year and it's going to be fully online and we're going to find the best professors and we're going to have the best software and we're gonna have an extremely high bar passage rate,
Even
and we're
10
probably going
sounds
to do a
high.
better job in big law placement than these schools are.
Yeah.
But we would not be allowed to do that because of American Bar Association rules.
Yep. You need to have a library. You need to have a certain number of books, all sorts of stupid stuff.
That's how they justify the $65,000 a year tuition.
Yeah.
Um, let us know if you know of another school that has a program like this. Let us know if you have any interest in Detroit Mercy. I really hope that, next year after that, we're reporting more and more of these programs starting up. And I hope that they get cheaper.
Yeah.
Because
That's
there
the
is
goal.
no justification for them to be expensive.
Yep.
Okay. Personal statement Gong show, and then a word of the week, and then we're out of here. Gong show is where we read somebody's personal statement until we find an unforgivable error or annoyance, and then we ring the gong. Cody's up next, hoping to beat the record of 34 lines set by listener Sophia. I'm going to let you read it, Ben.
Okay. First sentence. My pen paused.
No, your pen did not pause. Your pen is not the subject of the sentence. You are the subject of the sentence.
It's not even possible for your pen to pause.
Well, you're anthropomorphizing your pen. What?
So they continue. My pen paused above the signature line of the commitment affidavit for medical school. So the thrust of this statement is I'm coming to law school because medical school was the wrong choice. That's not a reason. It's not a reason to go to law school.
It's not a reason to go to law school, nor is it a reason for a law school to want to admit you.
Yeah, you don't know how to make decisions?
Well, what this means is you were admitted to law school. Sorry, you were admitted to medical school.
Yep.
You went through this whole process. You were admitted to medical school. And you told them no.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing that a law school wants to hear.
We're going to make you an offer for half tuition scholarship, full tuition scholarship, and you might walk away because your pen's going to pause above the signature line. Okay, they continue. 5 years of pre-medical courses and a hard-earned MCAT score had led me to this point. We already figured that out. We knew that already. I expected to feel excited, but instead uncertainty gripped me. Jesus. Medicine had always been the plan. We get it. We get it. You're changing your course. I'm done. Gong.
I really hate it. Yeah, I don't that's not the direction I would go because again, Ben just rang the gong and I'm not going to unring that gong. I'm going to let that be.
Yeah, I should have given you a chance to
No,
hold
that's
me
not
back.
how the gong show works. Nah, you rang it. I'm not unringing it. I'm fine with it because you have to play the little thought experiment. What if Ben's phone just rang? Or what if all of a sudden somebody's standing in the doorway of his office going like, hey, we need you in this meeting.
Yeah.
And so Ben goes, okay, sure, fine. He closes this file or maybe he leaves it open on his desk. But either way, as he's walking down the hallway, if he's thinking about Cody at all, he's thinking about Cody as, oh, the kid who was admitted to medical school and then decided not to go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ben has his yield to protect, right? Law schools are ranked based on how many people say yes to them once they admit that person. Well, Cody has now told Ben that he was admitted to medical school and decided not to go.
Yeah.
Ben, who could be hired or fired, I guess he's already hired. So Ben, who could be fired if his yield is not high enough because it'll hurt the ranking of his school, is like, yeah, okay, so we got this indecisive. It also makes you look like a kid because instead of talking about whatever professional achievements you have put on your record, instead you're just talking about pre-med classes and MCAT classes and not going to medical school. Okay, well, what did you do?
Mm-hmm. Look at the next sentence just confirms the gong. It just doubles down on medicine, medicine, medicine. That was my plan.
The next sentence is I wanted a profession where I could use my skills to help others, solve problems, and make a difference, semicolon. All signs I thought pointed to being a physician. But at the moment, as I looked at the affidavit, I admitted what I had been avoiding, colon. Medicine had components of what I was looking for in a career, but couldn't provide everything I yearned for.
Okay, that was a lot of sentences to say what we knew in the first sentence.
Yeah, the first 8 words or whatever, or yeah, just the first sentence, you didn't sign the thing to go to medical school. We got it. But why law school? What?
Yeah. By the way, don't take this advice to suggest that you should cut everything from the first paragraph, but keep the first sentence. No, the fundamental message is wrong, but it's just even worse that you keep repeating yourself over and over and over again. The bottom line right now is you spent a lot of time of your life making a decision that turned out to be, at least from what you can tell, a wrong decision. We don't even know if it's a wrong decision. I mean, of course, and in any profession, you're going to go in and there's going to be things you love about it and there's going to be things you don't love about it. So I don't know what you're expecting.
Yeah, I'm just scanning down now, and it's like, so he's going to get into this anecdote at the end of the first page, beginning of the second page. He's going to get into this anecdote. I'm going to read a little bit of it.
Sure.
So, because this is what he means to be an instance where he had unknowingly developed the skills of helping others and resolving conflicts. Unknowingly develop. Okay, so anyways, this is an anecdote about how much of a helper and conflict resolver he is.
Okay.
Not what lawyers do, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah, lawyers create conflict.
Yes. Okay. Finding yourself attending to the broken leg of an Englishman freshly plowed over by a fried chicken delivery bike in South Korea is probably not where most young men expect to be on their first Christmas Eve away from home, but there I knelt.
Oh, gee.
I had just witnessed a distracted delivery driver completely ignore a red light and ram a pedestrian crossing the street, hurling him onto the asphalt. I used my rudimentary first aid to treat his shock and swollen shin until help arrived. While I attended to his immediate safety, I quickly realized the pressing issue was not only his injury, but the breakdown in communication between him and the Korean first responders. The police and paramedics spoke no English, semicolon. The injured man spoke no Korean. Being fluent in both languages, I was the only person who could assist. Legal and factual clarity in the aftermath of this accident were crucial to ensuring that the man was okay. The truth was told, and his legal rights were preserved. For nearly an hour, I became the sole link between the victim, the responding officers, and the medical team, explaining the circumstances of the collision, relaying his condition, and ensuring he understood both his medical situation and the legal process unfolding around him.
You're a legal expert in Korea?
How? Wow. This, can we back up 1 second though? I think this is probably just fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it matters.
Okay,
I don't. I just don't think it matters because he's saying enough of the right things. It's like, oh, well, I want to help people. And I'm telling a story that happened to me. And the truth is, the law schools don't give a shit. It's just grist for the mill. They don't care. They admit far too many people. And it's not like there's, typos. I don't think the writing is really beautiful. It's definitely overwrought. And you're using way too many semicolons. You need to use a damn period sometimes. Shorten all your sentences, make yourself the subject of the sentence. Just stop this overly artsy, overwrought. But it's sort of like he's doing the right. I mean, he's just he's doing what everybody else does, which is just the like sort of bowing and scraping to the profession. Like, oh, I want to help people. I'm so grateful that I found this path. The training law school provides is essential to understanding the legal systems, blah, 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 blah. And the law schools are like, yeah, okay, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, but it also doesn't matter. If you've got the right LSAT and the right GPA, that's why we're making our decisions based on that anyway. And he doesn't sound like sociopathic. I think it's a mistake to put I was admitted to medical school and didn't go as your first line. I think that's an error in judgment. But I honestly don't think that it's actually going to keep you out of law school. I just think you could have done much better. But the fact that you didn't do much better doesn't really matter when everyone else is doing so poorly. This isn't the most important component of your application. It's like you're kind of just ticking boxes, right? So is this putting your best foot forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not putting your best foot forward. So that's bad. But is this going to like keep you out of law school? I don't really think probably not.
Probably not. So what we really need for the Gong show, if people are willing to do it, is we need their LSAT, their GPA, at least their current GPA, and the schools that they're trying to get into. Because someone who's applying to the top 10, right? I'd be like, no, this could be a deal breaker because the numbers are good for everyone there.
Yeah. And you could get yield protected at a school in the top 10, right? Like those schools are actually doing yield protection sometimes.
Yeah.
And they look at Cody and they go, do we want this indecisive? Like, what if he gets to the precipice? He literally, we skipped it, but he literally in the third paragraph, he's talking about it wasn't until shortly before my seat deposit was due that I backed out. It's like, well, that's not what these people want to hear.
No, nope. Okay.
Does it look to you like he's using two spaces between sentences sometimes, but one space sometimes between sentences other times?
Yep.
Does it also look like the font is very small? Or is that just me?
Yeah, it's probably 11. I got to read this last sentence. This is not how you want to end. I am passionate about the law, committed to becoming a successful attorney, and at last, there is no uncertainty in that. Really? You just told us a story. You gave us facts that say otherwise, and you want to force this conclusion down our throats.
On no evidence at all. Because the only evidence you've really provided is that you decided at the last minute medicine wasn't the thing. Yeah. But you didn't know until after you had already been admitted. But you're telling us that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's like one of those LSAT questions where the evidence really could only be used to prove the opposite of the conclusion of the argument.
Yep.
So it's like they lead you down one path and then they just conclude the exact opposite of what you thought they were going to conclude. The paper mill did not. It's not the paper mill's fault. Why?
Like,
well, because they release this chemical every single day and it's known to have reproductive problems in fish, and the fish get better as soon as the paper mill shuts down. Therefore, it's not the paper mill. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? That's what this is. Right?
That is what this is. Yep. Cody, I almost feel like you're trying to convince yourself. There's no uncertainty now.
Yeah. Cody, if you want to try again, I would love to hear a different story. I mean, By the way, I have no doubt that you could apply to law school with this and probably just get in most of the time. I mean,
Yeah.
at most schools, your numbers are going to make you either a presumptive admit or a
Hmm.
presumptive waitlist. I don't think this is getting you off of either one of those lists, probably.
Yeah.
So it really only matters at the one school where you're like right on the bubble. And at that school, this isn't helping you.
Mm-mm.
But I don't think it's that big of a deal either. Um, if you want to try again, I would allow you to come back on the show. But you're not allowed to have any semicolons though. None. No semicolons. Because your semicolon privileges got revoked because you've got like I think there's at least one semicolon in almost every paragraph here.
Yeah.
And that's just way, way too many semicolons.
And
And
M
yeah, I would
dashes.
just, yep, M dashes, semicolons. You have a colon or two in there. Don't do any of that. And
Double
so if you want
space,
to try
triple
again,
space. Yeah.
what's
Sorry.
that?
Oh, triple space even. There's one place where it looks like there's three.
Oh,
I
so
just did
stay
two.
consistent with your one space between sentences, please. And try again, but put your best foot forward this time. I mean, talk about something you've achieved. Talk about something you've accomplished. Like witnessing an accident in Korea and doing some translation. I don't find that to be a compelling anecdote.
I think Cody probably wanted to get in there. Oh, look, I'm bilingual. But you can do that on your resume. You can do it in another way. Check out this too. I know we're kind of done, but it says this awareness that medicine might limit my ability to help rather than empower it deepened my unease, which made it obvious there was something else out there waiting for me. Okay, I don't doubt that the medical profession has all sorts of limitations, expectations, and roles that prevent you as a doctor or whatever role you take on to help people in certain circumstances. But that is also 100% true for lawyers. There are so many lawyers who go work for a big law firm and are limited in their ability to help other people and often find themselves on the wrong side of an argument because that's what their employer is demanding. So
Well,
any sort of restrictions that you saw in the medical field, you're going to see maybe 10 times more in the legal field.
not only that, but there are plenty of times where someone says, "Is there a doctor on board the plane?"
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a doctor aboard the plane, your
You
medical
can help.
training means that you can help that person. Not once has anyone ever said, "Is there a lawyer on the plane?" I mean,
The legally trained professional here. We, yeah.
It would be great to have a doctor in the house. A lot of times, wouldn't it be nice, Ben?
Oh, we need it all the time. Yeah.
One of the kids is sick. Somebody
There's
bangs
all sorts
themselves
of
up.
things.
It'd be
Yeah.
fantastic to have a doctor in the house. Lawyer? Fuck no. No
No.
way. A lawyer's not going to help anybody in the family do anything ever. All they're ever going to do is be like, well, yeah, that's not really what I practice. That's not really my area.
Oh, yeah.
I could refer you to somebody who specializes in that. I don't know. Yeah, that's not my, I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, a doctor is like, could actually patch you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, please take out any reference to medical training is going to hinder my ability to help people.
Yeah.
That's just a fiction. That's a lie. That's 100% false. That's the exact opposite of truth. You can't say that. All right. Thank you, Cody. That was fun. Yeah, really, Cody only made it like a sentence and a half before Ben rang the gong on that one. So Sophia is still the record holder with 34 lines.
Okay. Word of the week. Week.
Yeah, this is coming from a United States Supreme Court.
Wow, a recent decision.
Wait. Oh no, this is coming from so they are quoting. They are arguing about the United States Supreme Court. I'll read it. I'll just read it.
Okay.
This is coming from Adamson v. Miller, 343 Oregon Appellate Court.
Yeah. Okay.
364. It's a 2025 decision.
Yep. Wow.
This is coming from a state appeals court, we think. It says the obligation to exercise reasonable professional skill and judgment under either constitution.
Okay, so U.S. or Oregon.
Does not encompass an obligation to augur an about face by the United States Supreme Court.
Wait. Okay, the reason I'm pausing here is because we're talking about an obligation to exercise reasonable professional skill and judgment. Is this obligation for, it must be for the court? So it must be for the Supreme Court, right? So they have an obligation to exercise reasonable professional skill and judgment, maybe in matters that they're not technically trained in. We were just talking about this, right? Lawyers are like, oh, that's not my area of expertise. But I guess judges are allowed to exercise reasonable professional skill and judgment on maybe a medical question, or who knows, like a construction question. But that does not encompass an obligation to augur an about face. So to about face is to change direction. So augur, I don't know. Make? Move?
Yeah, cause or precipitate or require. Like, I think augur means something like predict.
Predict. Oh, so
like if
the appellate court can't anticipate the Supreme Court to make a radical change.
Correct. I think because the context that I've heard augur in is like, it, you know, you say, oh, well, that bodes well. Oh, you got a 175 LSAT? Oh, that bodes well for
you. Yeah,
I think augurs well means almost the exact same thing.
Interesting. Okay. Let's look it up. This is where knowing the word would help a lot.
Yeah. Context is tricky there, so.
Yeah, it says to show or suggest something that might happen in the future. Interesting.
It has something to do with predicting, right?
Yeah, the change augurs or bodes ill, badly for the success of the business.
Yeah. If your CEO is an alcoholic, that augurs poorly.
So bode is a good synonym.
Bode is a good synonym, I think. You can check out all of our words of the week at lsat.link/wow. You can also be LSAT famous by asking questions or sharing news with us on our website, thinkinglsat.com, or on the socials at lsatdemon. If you have questions about LSAT Demon, email help@lsatdemon.com. Check out our other podcast, LSAT Demon Daily. That was episode 526 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. Thanks all y'all for listening. Nice knowing you. Don't pay for law school.